I'm Jim Carlucci, editor of the Trenton Downtowner, and for the second of our series of interviews with Trenton's business, civic, and cultural leaders, we're going to sit down and talk with Tracey Syphax. Tracey is the CEO and president of Capital City Contracting, specializing in roofing, siding, window work, and the Fax Group, a development and management firm here in Trenton, New Jersey. Lifelong resident of the city, Tracey graduated from Trenton High, attended Mercer County Community College, built the first new house in decades in the historic West Ward neighborhood of Cadwallader Heights. But besides all of that, Tracey has given a lot back to the community. He's a motivational speaker. He's been very involved with minding our own business at Rider University, and been involved with the Trenton and New Jersey African American Chambers of Commerce, active in his church. Tracey, thanks a lot for sitting down and talking with us today.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
I suppose the first thing we should do is life hasn't always been a cruise on the highway for you,
Right.
and you've got a book coming out a little bit about that. It's kind of part of your motivational speaking.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. The title of the book is From the Block to the Boardroom, and it's basically a story of my life and how I came up. I came up in the 70s and the 80s in Trenton. A lot of time, especially during the early 80s, when the crack epidemic hit the city of Trenton, was involved with a lot of drugs and selling drugs and running drugs and just the whole nine. So ended up spending early part of my life in and out of prison, trying to find my way, and had a change of direction in I think my last conviction was in 1989. I went to jail, spent about close to 4 years incarcerated then. And I just finally realized I came to a crossroad in my life that I wanted to change my life around. And I think a lot of other inmates get to that point in their life, or ex-offenders get to that point in their life when they just say enough is enough. And I was at that point in 1992, 93. So I decided when I came home that I was going to do that. I came home, found employment, which was a hard thing to do. And I've noticed that it's hard for a lot of ex-offenders to get employment. I was fortunate enough to have taken up a trade when I was incarcerated, a vocational trade, and the little bit of vocational background that I had before I went in there helped me when I came home to get a proper job in the construction field, in which I did. I was privileged enough to have a boss that was just wonderful. I mean, John Rowley, he runs a company down in South Jersey called Patriot Roofing, and he was just phenomenal when it comes down to somebody taking somebody underneath their wing and saying, listen, I know your faults, I know what you've been through, but I want to give you an opportunity because he's seen something better in me, and he did that. And lo and behold, 1995, I just started doing side work and, for family and friends, and one thing led to another. I got to the point where I was doing so much side work, I just didn't have time for anything. And my wife said, listen, you got to make a choice. Either you're going to go in business for yourself, or you're going to continue to kill yourself trying to do everything. So in 1995, with a loan from her for about $500 and a little bit of money that I saved up, I bought my first truck, and we incorporated the business in 1996, and we haven't looked back since. We've been blessed and fortunate enough not only to start the Capital City Contracting Company, but we also started the Fax Group, which is a real estate development company. And we buy houses and apartments here in the Mercer and Burlington County area, rehab them, and we fix them up. What I want to do with From the Block to the Boardroom is, yes, I want to tell my life story. Yes, I want to motivate and I want to inspire other people that may have had the same problems. But I also think that taking that and teaching ex-offenders entrepreneurship skills, a lot of these folks, they have these skills. They just did it in the wrong way. And what we're going to look to do with the book and going to these prisons and going to halfway houses and going to drug programs and speaking to ex-offenders is try to give them and teach them entrepreneurship skills. Because if nobody's going to give you a job, it's on you to go out there and create yourself a job. And I really believe that if we can start giving them something, especially in these tough economic times, because they have to do something, and we cannot continue to have that revolving door where they come out into a neighborhood, commit all types of crimes, raise hell, and then go back into prison for another 3-4 years, then come back out again. We want to look to try to stop that revolving door of them going in and out.
What's the business climate in Trenton like now? What's the potential? We talk about adversity and potential, and What's the situation here?
I believe Trenton has tremendous potential. I mean, you know, it's centrally located between New York and Philadelphia, and I really believe with the right people in the right positions that 5 years from now, Trenton could be on the right track to be a destination city, and it should be because we have historical value here. It's just so much stuff here, a diverse culture that, you know, 5, 10 years from now, Trenton really should be, you know, a hub of business opportunity and a community that everybody should be able to live in. And that's what I envision for the city, and I hope that we can eventually get there.
The very big Hope 6 project near the train station area, you see that as being a place where there's potential for employment, potential for jobs, potential for development?
Yeah. You know, the Hope 6 project, and as you know, I've spoke out against the project, and the reason being is that, you know, the Section 3 of that title, you know, Section 3 of that program, when you do a project like a Hope 6 project in any neighborhood, HUD's intention is to give employment and to give opportunities to the people that live here. And I really think that in these tough times, we need to really take advantage of that. You know, there's a saying that says, all politics are local. In these tough times, all money should be local.
True.
So if you got $100 million project and 30% of that money is supposed to stay here, I mean, we should never try to find an excuse why 30 million of that money can't stay here.
You in the back and forth about this project, you were quoted in the paper. You had spoken out at the council meeting. You said that, and I'm quoting, you know, I'm the largest African American contractor in the city, and nobody's talked to me. I could open up my window and yell, and they would hear me at the housing authority, and nobody's called me. Has anybody called you since you said that?
I think they might even cut me off even more. But nah, you know, it's, you know, and it is funny that we talk about this now, Jim, and I just came from the 5K Cancer Walk in honor of Wayne Lateef, who used to be the housing director for Trenton Housing Authority. And I had a good relationship with Wayne. Man, you know, I did a lot of work for the Housing Authority when he was there. And Wayne had a vision of empowering the people in the housing project. He really had a vision of doing that. And he had all the contractors come in at one time and pre-qualified them. So he was working on doing just that. You know, unfortunately he passed away, and the new director now is there now. But even with the new director, I seen him, you know, maybe 9-10 months before the project even got underway, expressed my interest in the project, offered my willingness to help him reach maximum participation on the project as the largest African American contracting firm here in the city. I felt that I had the ability to coalesce 2 or 3 other major African American contractors here in the city, and that we could have took a nice piece of that project, whether it's $5-10 million, that we could have did that. And I expressed that, and, you know, his words to me was, we'll work together. Well, lo and behold, when the project started, they had 20-something contractors down there on a Friday. My name wasn't on the list. Why, I don't know. But, you know, I wasn't involved, and I still have yet to get a call from the Housing Authority. I've got an email on what I need to be qualified, but as far as a call on how we can work together on that project to maximize participation on that project, I have yet to do that. And I just want to give you a prime example. We did 2 houses down on West State Street, 2 apartment buildings on West State Street about 2 years ago. And one of the buildings actually got a historical award for what we did on that building. But when we did that building, Jim, we had 75% local and minority participation. And the reason why we're able to do that amount on a job like that is because of the fact that we've been there for 16 years. We have a relationship with good plumbers, good electricians, good carpenters, that we know that can participate on projects like the Hope 6 project and get it done. So we've been here, so we know. And now those are the ways that I could have helped Herb out, the director of the Housing Authority out, with the Hope 6 project. I know the contractor. I know the ones that are capable of playing on the major field. I know the ones that are coming up. So in that instance there, I could have really helped him out with the project.
About how many Trentonians work for you now?
Wow. Right now, we have an office staff of 6. I think one of them lives in Willenboro. One of them live in Willenboro. The rest of them are from Trenton.
And how your tradespeople, though, your guys out on the job and stuff, are mostly Trentonians?
Yeah, mostly all of them are Trentonians. Kenneth Michael, the electrician, Tri-City, plumbing and heating. Global Painting, wow, Burnett Paving. I mean, there's so many local contractors here that we use that are capable of doing houses. Because one thing about the Miller Homes project, and I kind of, when I went to council, I kind of got upset with our West Ward councilman because of the fact that he was trying to use the analogy that because he worked on the Capitol Health project, that, this was, almost the same thing. You don't have contractors that qualify. Well, Capitol Health is a whole different beast. It's a commercial project, specialty item goes into projects like that, mainly union. So that and Hope 6, you can't compare the both of them together. Hope 6 is a residential project. Kitchens, baths, doors, trim. These guys do this stuff every day. And the contractors that do it every day, I know those contractors. So I really think that on a project like the Hope 6, we could have maximum participation if we really wanted to.
Over the years you've had Capital City Contracting, what kind of trends have you seen in the quality of the workforce here? Do you have trouble finding qualified people? Do you spend more time training them? Are they work ready?
Yeah, I've ended up getting a few people from the Youth Build program. Mm-hmm. I work closely with Owls on sometime on getting guys from the Youth Build program. I really haven't had a hard time finding qualified guys in Trenton. And I think right now, because the economy is so bad, that there's a lot of more qualified folks out there. I put an ad in the paper a couple of months ago and got so many responses from qualified people. I mean, I just had to pick out of 35 applications, narrow it down to 5 or 6 really great people. And most of all of them was right here in the city of Trenton.
That's great. Because you hear so often there's a sense that, okay, there's a lot of people looking for work, but they're not necessarily qualified or skilled enough, et cetera, and so forth. But the proof is there.
And I said this at a council meeting. They talking about so much, more training on this whole 6 projects. But Owls has had Youth Build for a number of years now. They've trained a lot of kids in construction, helped them get their GEDs, helped them get their driver's license. So, if we just pull our resources just from Owls, we can get a lot of qualified folks just out of that program alone. So they are here.
I'm kind of out of stuff. You got anything to sum up? If you could, how can I phrase this? Do you have anything off the top of your head you want to use as a summary, or?
Nothing off the top of my head, but I just want to say this: is that I've been in Trenton the majority of my life, and I love the city. I didn't build this house in West Trenton, and I didn't have my office on Martin Luther King Boulevard. Just to have it there. I have a real invested interest in the city of Trenton. I grew up here, went to school here, most of my family is here. And I just want to see the Trenton do better. And I really believe it has the potential to do better. But, a lot of people have to really step up to the plate. And, it goes from the community leaders to the elected officials to the mayor. Everybody really has to step up to the plate and make Trenton what it could be and what I know it could be. The great city that it should be.